Hello, welcome. So today we're looking at a new subreddit called r/AmITheEx. Apparently, this is where people take posts from other places where this person quite clearly has messed up in their relationship, and they are very oblivious about the fact that they have messed up so bad. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Oh, also, I have my window open because it's very warm in my room. I accidentally left the heating on for the last 6 hours because it was absolutely freezing, but now I'm boiling. So I am hoping nobody can hear me. It is the middle of the night. But my social anxiety is flaring up just for the fact I have my window open. So the first post was reposted by Myra177 and says, I, 25M, had Tinder on my phone and my 23F girlfriend found out. What? Excuse me, what? Why? Why? Are you stupid? I feel so. What the hell? Can we move past this? Let's all have a knee-jerk reaction and state what we think just from the title alone. No! I don't think you can. So this was originally posted to r/relationship advice, and I don't remember who the user was because I don't think I even bothered clicking. Quite often I've found, as I was going through this subreddit, that a lot of the users had obviously deleted their throwaway accounts anyway, so when you click on it, you can't see a user anyway. So yeah, we are just going to continue unknowing of who it is. My girlfriend, 23F, and I, 25M, have been dating for about 10 months. We live together and have a very healthy and very loving relationship. Why were you on Tinder? Now, before everyone says she should dump me, let me explain the whole situation. My girlfriend has endometriosis. One of the symptoms of endometriosis is excruciating and painful sexual activities. As much as I love S, I want my girl happy, especially during S. Now, when we first got together, we had S a lot. It was great, but then it started to be 1 to 2 times a week and then every other week. Now, anyone else, I would honestly just leave. I have before to a different girl. We weren't dating, but my girlfriend is like if you were to catch sunlight in a jar. She is just that kind, warm, and angelic to be around. So my point is, not having S does not bother me. But one day, about 6 months into our relationship, we were laying in bed yapping and she just said, "You can have S with other girls." We were both high on Delta 9 edibles. I have no idea what that is, by the way. I literally can't even have a drink without waking up in the morning with a massive headache. As much as I like to have a drink once in a blue moon, probably I'd say I go out twice a year, that's it. I can't cope. So anything else is a no for me. I don't even like taking paracetamol if I don't have to. I will sit with a migraine for as long as I can before I will take any painkillers. I hate taking medicines or anything. Anything. So I didn't think I heard her correctly. We talked some more about it that night, but not too in depth about it. But she followed up the next day about it, even told me to download Tinder. We even created rules and such, but I knew she wasn't 100% on board because she told me I'm the only guy she's ever tried this with, which probably means that she's feeling incredibly guilty that she can't give you something that she feels she should, which is definitely not a green light. Don't do it. She's doing it just because she feels bad. That does not mean you should go and do it. If anything, considering you have said there yourself, you recognize she is not 100% on board, and clearly she's just trying to keep you happy, as a decent partner, you should go, well, I know you don't really want this, so I'm not going to do it, you know? And at the time, her endometriosis was up and down, but mostly getting worse than better, as far as S goes. So she was still in and out of the doctor's office trying to get fixed. A few weeks go by and she told me what I've been thinking this whole time. If this doesn't fix S for us, then yeah, you can go and have S with other girls. She was referring to this pain medication that's supposed to help. It made me happy hearing that because I knew she wasn't truly okay with me sleeping with other girls. Fast forward a couple months, and S hasn't got any better for her. Because now, when we have S, I know she's just doing it for me. Okay, I could understand how that could be frustrating if it's something obviously that you really enjoy and that you value in a relationship. But again, her saying to do something because she just feels bad for you, but obviously she would be so hurt if you did, I think, is not a green light. Please don't. Do not tell me you did it. The main issue. Since this has been such an ongoing issue, I thought there's most likely nothing else that could fix her. So, from the day she told me to download Tinder, I've only been matching with girls. No texting at all. I would delete and download Tinder to just do that, and when the day comes, I can show her this list of girls that she can say yes, no, maybe, etc., etc. I did see it as a bit sneaky and wrong, but 98% of me said, I'm not interested in any of these girls. And she did say I could have Tinder, so what's the problem? So last night she found out, or caught me, however you want to put it. That day, I got off work early, and every time I do, I tend to clean the apartment to have it clean for whenever she gets home. But I might have got a bit too comfortable. When I was cleaning, I took 2 Delta 9 edibles, and this started to sound like an ad for these things, and was cleaning very happily. Whenever my girlfriend walked in, my attention was focused on her. I could tell she was having a terrible day. She is an infant teacher, and she had just got diagnosed with RSV, so that should tell you how terrible she felt all day. She took off her clothes and got into bed. She wanted something to eat, so I left her room and went to get it. 10 seconds later, I hear a loud scream. I run in and see her face. Just thinking about the way she looked is getting me emotional. I instantly know what the problem is, and I go into let me explain mode. Obviously, she wasn't hearing it, kicked me out, and started crying, more so weeping. It was bad, and to put icing on the cake, her sister and her mum came over to console her. Now they think I'm some cheater who hurt their sweetheart. I don't know what to say anymore, because why would she believe me anyways? It's Tinder. Tinder! Obviously, there has to be something going on, but the crazy part is nothing is going on. I'm just effing stupid. Her sister and mum eventually leave, and I go in trying to see where she's at, very mad, and a lot of awkward silence. I asked her some main questions like, do you want to break up? No. Can we move past this? Maybe. Do you still love me? Yes. That night, we eventually started to talk lightheartedly and even laughed a little. We went to sleep together that night too. I went to work the next morning. She called me. It was a little awkward, but she still said love you before hanging up. But when I got home, it's much different. Like it's settled in a bit more with her, and I can tell. We were going to talk about it, but she says she has to figure out herself some more before she makes a decision. I get that, but decision? Man, I effing love this girl like no other. Our love is so bright and beautiful that I still, after 10 months, speed back home to see her. Please give me some advice on this so we can move past this. I want to marry this girl. Honestly, I think the worst thing you could have ever done is when she said, oh, you can have S with other girls, is to be so enthusiastically agreeable at that suggestion. What you should have done is said, no, I don't need that. Because clearly she was feeling insecure and maybe even looking for some reassurance from you to say, I don't need that. I don't care. I care more about you than our S life, you know? And obviously, yes, she shouldn't have said, oh, yeah, you can download Tinder and blah, 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 because some people clearly are a little bit dense and will go and do it and not read between the lines. So, yeah, she is at fault for doing that. She shouldn't have said that if she doesn't want you to do that, obviously. I'm not going to sit there and make excuses for that. However, any person with half a brain cell rattling around in there should have sat there and gone, I know she's not 100% okay with this. So why is she telling me to do it? Read between the lines and gone, she's feeling insecure. She thinks if I can't get S, then I'm going to leave. Let me reassure her. Let me put some things into place that make things more fun for us or more relaxing or less painful. Let's look into stuff. Let's look into options. Let's look into options for her endometriosis. You know, like There's so many other routes you could have gone than downloading Tinder. And the biggest takeaway from it is you shouldn't have gone and done it on your own, off your own back. You should have done it and made sure that she was a part of it every step of the way if it was something that you were both going to agree to do. Because there are some relationships where one can't provide that side of intimacy and they agree to outsource as such. And it works for them. And fair play, if it works for you, it works for you. But it has to be a two-person decision that both people need to be in on every step. So she probably feels betrayed as well because you've just gone behind her back with this instead of going, yeah, we'll work this out together, we'll do it together, and keeping her a part of it every step of the way. This next post was posted by a deleted user and it says, "On team wife, a little late there, bud." And it was originally posted to r/AmITheButthole. Am I the butthole for kicking my wife out after she punched my mum in the face? Naughty. Oh my goodness. My situation went from bad to worse in a matter of a week and I don't know where else to turn. I need to know if I was wrong. Possibly a validation thing because life is effing dumb right now. My wife and I have been together for 8 years and she just gave birth to our first and last baby 2 months ago. Up until my wife got pregnant, my mum loved her. I'm not sure what the F is wrong with my mum or why the switch happened, but after my wife got pregnant, my mum started being very clingy to me and started avoiding my wife at all costs. Oh, don't you just love a bit of that emotional incest weird stuff that some boy mums do? Pack it in, you weirdo. Go and get a husband or a boyfriend of your own. It's creepy. Told everyone she wasn't excited about the pregnancy, etc. I threatened to go no contact with her when my wife was about 7 months along, and after that, she snapped out of it, for the most part, and stopped being so ignorant. The comments 100% stopped, at least, though she was still clinging to me. Now, a week ago, my mum, my sister's husband, and my sister's daughter, 12, came over for dinner. I prepared the meal. Before my wife could eat anything, our daughter got fussy, so my wife excused herself to go feed the baby and get her down to sleep. I thought I was prepared enough, but apparently not, because my niece was still starving. She's 5'5" and 190 pounds. I haven't seen her in a year, and she was not that size then, so I didn't exactly portion in an extra 3 helpings for a child, so it's on me. I apologised and told her that I hadn't made any more and offered her crackers. I was putting my wife's portion in the fridge. After that, I just went outside with my sister's husband to smoke a cigarette and shoot the breeze. Didn't think anything of it, but then I hear her yelling from inside. When I walk in, my wife and my mum were screaming at each other. Apparently, my mum, who saw me put my wife's food away, gave my niece my wife's portion of food as I was walking inside. I heard my mum say, "Looks like you can afford to skip a meal," and slap my wife's stomach. Oh, them's fighting words, mother-in-law. Right as soon as I get ready to step in, literally fast walking towards them yelling, "Enough!" my wife whines back and punches my mother square in the face. Oh, and drops her. As she should. She slapped her stomach. That's game on then. You step 2, you gotta expect that you're going to get wiped out. The whole house went silent outside of my mum crying and holding her face. I tell everyone to get the F out. Immediately, everyone leaves, and my wife just turns toward the counter and leans with her hands on the counter and face down, eyes closed. Yeah, she's probably trying to calm down so she doesn't tear your mum a new hole to breathe from. I look up at my wife and say, "You too. Leave. Now." She says, "Really?" She's crying at this point. I say a clipped, "Yup." She packs up and her and the baby leaves. What an asshole are you? Your mum's been terrorising your wife all this time. Should she have decked her so hard? Probably not. Would I have done the same thing in that situation? I will decide not to comment on that. But, like, no. One, it's your wife's house as well as yours. So you could have just said, right, can you just go to a different room and I'm going to diffuse this situation? You know, it's fair enough to be, I suppose, a bit mad at your wife because she's just decked your mum. It's going to be a knee jerk reaction. Of course, you will be a bit miffed. However, your mum literally just smacked her in the stomach, gave her food away, and told her that she could deserve to lose a few pounds. So, yeah, I think your mum deserved it, to be honest. I text her that night and say, I just need space. I need to decompress and come to terms with what just happened. She doesn't respond. The next 5 days, I'm texting and calling and I get nothing. She shows up here today, so 8 days later, and hands me divorce paperwork and my baby and says, here, you have a bit to hang out with her while I pack. Where I'm breastfeeding, we can work out a visitation schedule that is either at your place or my mother's until she will take a bottle. I told her that's not what I want. I don't want to separate. I just needed time to process her punching my mother in the face. You could have done that without kicking her and your infant child out of the house at night time. But you know, some of us think with our heads. Some of us think with God knows what else. She said, you needing time to process gave me time to process the fact that I refused to be in this situation any longer. I defended myself. I initially felt bad and remorseful, but you making me leave when I needed you made me see more clear. I'm done. I'm sorry for what I did, but there's no fixing this. She refused to speak to me at all for the rest of the time that she was here. My house feels so empty, and I don't know what to do. Am I the butthole for making her leave after she punched my mum? I just needed some effing space. Mate, do you live in a shoebox? You could have got some effing space by going to a different room. Or, listen, this is a fantastic idea that I'm sure you clearly didn't think of, because again, if you had more than one brain cell, you'd be dangerous. You could have gone with the old mummy-in-law. You could have gone with mummy. You know, you could have left the friggin' house. Why did you make your wife and your infant child leave? Are you dense? I think so. Did your wife F up by punching your mum? Yeah, a little bit. That was a bit aggressive and probably not the best thing to do, you know? She could have been a bit more diplomatic. A slap would have sufficed, you know? But again, your mum laid hands on your wife first and insulted her, and clearly your wife has been goaded and goaded for so long by your mum. What did you expect? A cuddle? Edited to add, for the record, I am team wife. Really? Oh, okay. My mum deserved it, wholeheartedly, and I've blocked her completely from my life. I literally just needed time to process what happened. My wife is a lot of things, violent is not one of them, so this came completely out of left field and would not have happened without her being provoked. After it all happened, my mum sent me a text saying, see, I told you she was crazy. That fat bee doesn't belong in our life. Oh my God, she sounds foul. I'm willing to bet she purposefully tried setting my wife off. Yeah, I would be too. Gold star for you, my boy. You're getting there slowly. So no, I'm on my wife's side, 100%. I truly needed to process what happened, and my wife took it as me giving up on her, not defending her, and throwing her and our baby out, which did essentially happen because I knew she had to take the baby with her when I kicked her out. Yeah, exactly. Why are you doing that? You absolute plum. You could have left. What's wrong with you? Many things, clearly. Edited to add the reason why. My dad was stupid abusive. I was beat, my sisters and brother were beat, my mum was put in hospital multiple times. It took years for police to enforce restraining orders, and he finally died in 2013. Violence scares the F out of me. I clam up and get anxious around violence of any kind now. My wife knows this, and she too grew up with a violent stepdad, and she gets just as anxious and panicky around violence. So when your mum smacked her in the stomach, why were you not panicking then? Her punching my mum in the face triggered an anxious response, and I needed her gone in that moment. I needed it far away from me. I don't know why I didn't just leave. I could have, but in that moment, I just let my emotions and fear run the whole effing circus and told everyone to get out, her included. My mum did slap her first. We're just going to give it a minute for that to sink in what he just said, because I don't think he is letting it sink in. So let's do it for him. Let's give him a hand. I guess, for some reason, I was seeing my wife's punch as being worse than the slap. It wasn't a hard slap, but my wife did kind of wince. Looking back on it now, she was fine following, but my mum was bleeding. Split her eyebrow open in a good shape. I don't know. That's what you called F around and find out. Thanks for the responses. I'm the a-hole. I'm going to try and kiss ass now. I don't think that's going to work, to be quite honest with you. I think when you kick your wife out after she responds to months of bullying and then being slapped in the stomach, which is probably, depending on how old your daughter is, painful still and uncomfortable. Oop, I just smacked my mic. I know that after I had my youngest, I was so sore for like a good few months afterwards, like just really tender around my stomach area because it just felt really odd and gross. Or I can't even think about the feeling because it makes me feel sick even now. And it can take a while for that to stop because the skin's been stretched and then it's gone back down, so it can be really sore. So at the end of the day, your mum bullying her for months and then slapping her, it's probably just sent her head west and she snapped. And I can understand why. I don't think she's going to come back to you. You kicked your child out at night time. You could have left. Having an anxious response is no excuse, because when you're a parent, you have to put your knee-jerk reactions aside and you have to learn to control that and go, okay, this is triggering me. I'm going to leave myself. I'm going to leave the situation. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want your kid out in the cold in the middle of the night. Now, I think I've made it very clear what I think about this guy, but let's head to the comments and see what they say, shall we? So Alicia Allison says, Jesus, this one's going to go down in the history books for all the reasons. Holy F. Edit, someone on the thread mentioned the wife posted her side. I'm going to try and hunt it down. Edit 2, I still can't find it. I replied to the comment on the original thread last night and I checked over there to see if they had updated and they deleted it. So it seems this came from a misunderstanding. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah. I couldn't find any posts from the wife's side. I had a little scour. I couldn't see who posted this. And it was like a bit tricky to find because I think the post has been archived or something or other. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it works. But yeah, I couldn't find it, unfortunately, because I would have loved to have heard from the wife's side. And then Quizzy131 says, oh my god, if you do, please let us know. I'm dealing with a very moody 9-year-old right now, so I need the tea. Honestly, that's what I was thinking. So I will keep an eye on the r/AmITheEx post in case someone happens to find it and posts it there, like a link to her side of the story there. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. Quite often these go unresolved and it's infuriating. Next post was posted by Max Daddy saying, knows cheating is a deal breaker, and then Pikachu face when wife leaves after cheating 3 times. Oh, goodness me. So this one was originally posted to 2 Hot Takes, and it says, I cheated on my wife while she was pregnant, and she won't take me back. I wonder why. I want to start off by saying that I found out that my wife posted to this sub and she will no longer speak to me, so I am here to try and get her to talk to me. I cheated on my wife when she was pregnant, twice, and then I did it again stupidly after she gave birth to our son. I was stressed and the co-worker was there. Oh, boo-hoo, you poor stupid baby. We got to talking about life and how hard her divorce was. She's been lonely, and I was feeling lonely. My wife was bedridden. I wonder how lonely your wife was feeling then. Bellend. And I needed someone to talk to because my wife was always asleep. She wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife. Act like a wife. Oh, wow. So you are just a giant steamy turd then, yeah. My wife won't speak to me or text me whenever I try to talk about us. I'm not fucking surprised. She just completely ignores me unless I talk about our son, and all the time she won't even text me. She communicates with me through her mother. Her mother threatened to call the police if I came by anymore, so I have no way to reach her except through the phone or making my case here, and pleaded with her just to talk to me. Has anyone been in this situation before? And what can I do to make her forgive me? She told me that she doesn't tolerate cheaters, and I had a lapse of judgment. A lapse of judgment 3 times? Oh, I tripped and fell. Oh, I tripped and fell again. Idiot. And I made a mistake. I want to fix it and work on it. Steph, if you're reading this, I am so sorry, and I will do better to get you back. I love you. I'll buy you whatever. I'll never leave the house again. Just come home and stop the divorce. I won't sign the papers. I'll forge the signature for you, Steph. I volunteer. Let's get this absolute loser gone. What a massive, massive prick. Oh my god. Like, when he said she was not acting like a wife, I'm almost certain when you do your vows, it says in sickness and in health, meaning that if your spouse is poorly, you look after them. You don't go sticking your sausage in any hole that moves. What the hell is wrong with you? And then down in the comments, Java the Chungus, I think, quotes OP saying she just wasn't feeling well enough to act like a wife. The most sentence of all time. Wow. Precisely. And then Miss Ducky42 says, yup, no concern for why she was bedbound, just that his D was dry. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot barge pole. I bet he's riddled. Riddled. And then Ice Blue Frost says, see, that's what I thought he meant by that. But then I read the wife's post where she talks about how he was having S with her right after he had S with her co-worker. Oh no. Talk about stirring someone else's porridge with the same spoon. That's disgusting. Yucky. So actually, I think he's complaining that she was sick and wasn't doing as much domestic labor as usual, and that's his justification for why he cheated. Then that makes even less sense. Like, not that it makes it okay if she's not giving him the nookie and then he looks for it somewhere else. Like, that's not okay anyway. But how can he get it from her and then get it from someone else and say, oh, it's because you didn't put the bins out, love? What the fuck is wrong with you? The fact it happened when the baby was just 3 weeks old seals it. If he was actually doing everything he was supposed to be, as in handling all the cooking and cleaning and otherwise helping support his wife and take care of his son, he simply wouldn't have had the time or energy to have S with anyone else, let alone someone he had to go out of his way to spend time with. Honestly, the mind boggles at what this logic is. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I mean, many things, clearly, but what on earth? I'm so glad that she is divorcing him, and I noticed how nowhere in this at all did he ever show any concern for seeing his kid. And when he gets to see his kid, it was all about, me want wife back. Get back here, now. Like, no, she doesn't want you. You're dirty. And on that note, we're going to leave it there for today. If you made it all the way to the end of this absolute shite show, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a like and subscribe, I'll appreciate it even more. And yeah, I hope you have a really good rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. I'm going to go calm down. These posts have me angry. Goodbye.